Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. You're joining me today for part 3 of the upgrades that we are fitting to the M340i. Now last week the weather was quite nice, so I was able to do some of the stuff to the exterior, but you can probably hear from the camera that it's raining out there today. So we're going to be concentrating on the interior. So in part 1 we fitted the gloss black mirror caps and the grille. In part 2 I took the car to a body shop and we fitted the front splitter and the rear diffuser. I was gonna go ahead and fit like the gloss black boot spoiler and the canards and the exhaust trims, but we're gonna concentrate on the interior today. So I'm gonna show you what we're gonna be doing to the interior. Guys, this is my BMW M340i carbon kit. It's an OEM piece. And I'm gonna tell you a little bit more about this kit as well as to what each of these items are. So the first item, let's start off with this item here. This is a center console dash piece, and obviously it says M Performance on there. Now you can see from the kind of detail that we have here, this is dry carbon. It's going to really just lift the interior because I'm not really a fan of the current interior, so with this carbon kit it's going to really lift it. This is the center console piece as well, so this is where you got obviously gear surround, cover for the cup holders. And then this little trim here, this is what fits on top of the cup holders. There's just a little bit of a trim that goes there. I didn't even think that this would be part of it. Now this is Alcantara. Hopefully the camera is picking that up. So that's literally like your knee rest. The Alcantara on here is really good. Steering wheel trim, which is currently in kind of like that aluminium colour, like that. This is going to cover it in that whole kind of carbon as well, and it's got the M Performance logo on there. More importantly, it's got the heated steering wheel button that goes there, which is going to be quite good. And one thing that I have noticed is on the standard steering wheel, this black piece is like a bit like plastic, whereas on this one it's leather, so it just feels quite nice. Hopefully this is going to lift the interior. So we're going to go over to the car and start getting this fitted. I'm going to go with the flow. Probably just do things in the random order, but I think this is the main thing that I want to really get fitted today, and then the rest of it hopefully it shouldn't take that long. Steering wheel, might as well tell you now, I have got a new steering wheel, so I'm going to build that separately, so that's not going to go on today's vid, that'll be on the next one, but we'll try and cover all of the rest. Okay, so as we can see, we've got this type of material here. It's neither carbon nor the aluminium, it's just a bit of plastic. So the idea is we're going to replace all of this stuff across here and all of this center console bit here into that carbon. That's the little trim piece which we need to obviously remove as well, and then these side plastic pieces here which will be Alcantara. So I think from what I understand is we need to take this off, and we normally remove it from this side. So there's a piece on the side here, this trim here, which we need to remove. Okay, so we just kind of pull this out a little bit, and then from here now what we can do is, you got these little clips here now on the side, we can start to remove this outwards. So it's going to kind of like come outwards until we've popped the whole thing out. I'm just going to carry on doing that now. Ever wondered what your G20 interior will look like without the centerpiece? This is how it looks like. So I've got this out, so you could see where all like the plugs were. That's all done. Now you've got obviously your air vents and stuff like that that are still in place. I was told the only thing that I need to take off is this purple or pink clip here, which is for the LED lights, and obviously all the ventage and stuff like that as well. As you can see, it's a bit of a mess. We need to transfer all of this onto the new piece, so that's what we're going to do now. Now disconnect some of this stuff here now, as much as I can, and then get this all transferred over onto the carbon piece. Alright, so to take off the air vents, we need a T20, typical BMW. We've got 4 of these bolts here, so there's one there, there's one on the other side, and 2 down below. So that's the first thing I'm going to do, and then this is obviously the carbon piece. We're going to start building this up for us to then reinstall it. So I'm going to take that off, install it onto there, take all other bits off, and then once that is ready, I'll then install that one in this place. Alright guys, so I've now fitted the centerpiece on the dash, and this is how it looks. A nice piece of dry carbon. Loving the M Performance decal over there, and the fitment, because it's an OEM piece, is absolutely fine. Now the way to actually refit this whole centerpiece unclips from the front end, and then you got to rebuild this onto the new one. It was a bit of a faff to actually do and get it all to this kind of point, but I'm glad that, you know, it's kind of fitted well. Now you probably can get like some cheap aftermarket pieces like this, but honestly this fitment is bang on because it's literally an OEM piece. Now the next thing that I'm gonna now do is I'm gonna obviously rechange all of this stuff, swap all of this over, but you can just tell like this kind of material is alright, but I prefer the actual carbon look on there as well, and it just kind of makes this whole interior a little bit more in keeping with the M340i-ness, I think. So I was able to remove this small piece that came out from the top there, and I'm going to replace that with the carbon fiber one. Now if you just put this over here, you can see the difference in the way these things are. So I'm going to start installing that one, and then we'll hopefully move on to the cup holder cover and then the center console here as well, and hopefully that will transform some of this. And while I'm going to be taking off the center console, I might as well take off these kind of strips here and get them changed over. Okay, that was quite a simple one. It's fitted, that little piece. I've just got a bit of a light so you can see the difference on there. The panel gap is pretty much the same as what you'd expect, and yeah, so you got that small piece. The idea is you start fitting it from this side all the way across, and it'll fit without a problem. I'm going to try and take this off. This shouldn't be that difficult to do, but I don't know, I'm just struggling to kind of pull this off at the moment. I might need to use my trusty removal tool or something to kind of pull it, but what I can tell is it should just slide out, but I'm struggling to do that with one hand. Right, we have a result, guys. So this was, yeah, it was a little bit more tricky, but the idea again was, I've got my assistant here, hold that a second. Yeah, so the idea there was that you push this piece back and then you slide, thank you, that out of here. Now one thing that I did do was I used my trusty trim removal tool to kind of edge that into it, and then that was able to kind of pop back. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to install the carbon fiber one. So it's going to hopefully be the reversal. Hold my camera. It's great when you got an assistant here to help you. So yeah, the idea is you just align it up and then you just press it from here. There you go, satisfying click, and that looks much nicer compared to this material here. I think even the chrome looks a bit nicer as well. I'm going to give this whole thing a bit of a nice clean up afterwards. So we've got the small trim piece fitted and this one, and now I'm going to go ahead and fit the center console. Yeah. So this is the carbon. This is great when you got an assistant, but anyway, this is the carbon fiber gear surround. This is going to fit down here like that. And what I'm going to use is the tabs on here as a bit of a reference point. So I'm just going to pop this up here for now. Now the first thing that you do is down here, I've just popped, if I'll just put this back in and show you what I've kind of done. So this is like the center console, let's say hinge or whatever you want to call it. I'm going to pop this out first. So you get your trim removal tool and you just pop that like that there, and just remove it out of the way. Now the actual gear surround is up to this point here, so all of these plastic bits is part of it. So I'm going to get my trim removal tool and I'm going to wedge it underneath here, and then just somehow just move this a little bit further back. There you go, unhooked there and unhooked there, and essentially it just kind of lifts up. Just give you a bit of a yank. You have got some other clips on the other side there as well. Okay, I was able to remove that. So it was hinging on these two here. I haven't broken anything, it's good plastic anyway. So yeah, I did use the other one for a reference. These two clips were obviously hinged in here. Was able to remove that quite easily. That was quite easy to actually remove compared to the rest of the stuff. Now while I'm here, let's pop that in the back. We might as well go ahead and remove these side pieces because we've got them in Alcantara, and it'd be nice to fit them before we fit everything else. Or if you want to keep this kind of race car feel, you might as well just keep it like this as well. There you go. You probably save a bit of weight. Okay, so you got these kind of blades here which you want to just try and remove. They are, it's quite simple. I was going to say they are, but yeah, that was really easy. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna replace them with these nice looking Alcantara ones. So as you can see here, this is the new Alcantara. It's gonna just feel that little bit nice as well. So we will just go ahead and fit them, probably from the top there, and once that just fits in, that'll look quite nice. So that looks like it's in place. There we go. Satisfying click. Perfect. Oh wow. Now if I just take the camera off you, you can just tell from this angle that's the Alcantara there, which looks really nice and got a nice amount of cushion on it. And this bit here, you've got a thin piece of plastic. You can actually tell the difference. It's a lot chunkier and it feels quite nice. So I'm just going to go ahead and remove these. As you can see, it's quite simple to remove. It just kind of comes off. There we go. More satisfying clicks. Okay, that seems to be a job well done. And now we might as well go ahead and fit in the carbon piece as well. Alright guys, so now you're joining me in the rear of the M340i, and the reason I'm sitting here is because there's a modification that we're going to do to the interior that we need to do from here. Now I'll show you exactly what we're going to install and let me know your thoughts about this one. So what I've got here is an Alcantara center armrest, which is going to obviously replace this kind of leatherette covered one, and it's going to hopefully just lift the interior a little bit as well. It's Alcantara, it'll hopefully match with the Alcantara bits down the front there as well. Now this is obviously a used kind of part, and it does say M Performance on there, but the colouring has kind of come off. I'm not too fussed because you can still see like embossed, which probably looks a little bit more subtle. Of course we've still got the M badge or what's left of it, and even if that perishes away, it doesn't really bother me too much because you can still see that it says M Performance on there. And I'm hoping that this will kind of fit quite well. I mean, it's an OEM piece, as we can obviously tell, but there is a little bit of damage to it. There's a clip down here which has kind of broken away, but we'll see if it can work, and if it does, it'll be a great bonus. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to dismantle this bit here, so this pulls away, and then we can access some of the clips and springs, and we just go on with that. So of course I've got my trusty trim removal tool, and I suppose we just put it in through there and then push this back. Trim removal tool in there, and then we just kind of pull this away from both sides. Yeah, it's amazing how I'm dismantling my own car here. So I might as well sit in the middle here. Now hopefully we've got enough light in here, and the idea is you've got these retaining springs which need to come out. So the clip that's broken is this bit here on the new one, but we can use all of the same kind of like pins and springs from this onto the replacement. Okay, so I'm just going to throw a bit of light in here so we can see. Now what we need to remove is there's a couple of pins there. Just put the light here. Now you got a couple of pins that are in there, one on that side and one on that side. We need to push those pins out. So once we pop the pins from that side, you can see they're just over here. So what we'll do then is we get a pair of pliers, and we should just be able to pull it out like that. That's what the pin looks like. Quite a big pin. I mean, I've seen people pull these out with their hands, but they are stuck in there quite a bit, so I'm not really too sure. Okay, so that is one armrest removed. Now this retaining clip here, I really apologise for the glare, but let's try and do it from here. So this retaining clip here, there's a little tab there and it's kind of hooked over it. So the idea is you open the armrest like that, so it releases some of the pressure on the actual spring in itself, and then you got to push it, and I use the pliers to kind of push it through there and over that clip for it to then be released, and then that just releases the entire armrest. So what we then do is we get the armrest and we lock it in place to where it's supposed to be, looking quite nice there, and then we get the retaining clip and we're going to put the clip on to make sure that it stays secure. Alright, that was perfect. So I've got the clip in place and it's kind of hooked in, which is quite good. The springs in there as well, and all I did was, again, I just used the pliers to kind of push that into place. Now that's under quite a lot of tension, and now again what we're going to do is we're going to take our pins and we're going to just put the pins back in. Pin is in, and just push it into place like that. Perfect, that is in. So now we're just going to reassemble all of this back up, but before it is, let's just see how it works. Yeah, that's perfect. Regardless of the fact that it's broken from there, the little clip, it doesn't make any difference to it. Wow, amazing, an easy upgrade. So guys, let me know what you think of the interior kit that I've fitted to this car so far. The carbon interior, the Alcantara bits as well. There are still a few more things I'll need to do. The steering wheel is looking a bit perished and I want to get that changed. I've already got a new steering wheel and hopefully that's going to come up probably in the next vid or so. The exterior still needs a bit of work, so I've got some more gloss black stuff to fit, like the rear spoiler and the front canards. I'm hoping to get that done perhaps in the next few weeks, and probably some other stuff as well which is in the pipeline. I am beginning to like the way this is now looking, like the carbon interior, the Alcantara is like a theme that I've always enjoyed, and having that in my M340i really makes it look special. I'm going to throw some pan shots in for you guys to enjoy of how the car's looking right now from the outside and the inside. But a huge shout out to Chris, who supplied me with all of this kit that you see fitted to the car today. Chris already had this fitted to his M340i, which he then removed when he traded that car in, and I bought this kit off him for a fraction of the price, perhaps what he would have paid for it. So yeah, absolutely thrilled with the way this is looking. If you haven't subscribed already, please hit that subscribe button, and hopefully guys, I'll see you on the next one. Take care.